Welcome to All Things Mental,
a podcast that honors the messy, beautiful, nonlinear journey of healing. Because healing isn't about fixing what's broken.
It's about discovering what you need in this moment and learning to trust yourself along the way.
Here, we share stories, resources, and reminders that you're never alone on your path.
So take a breath, lean in, and remember,
you are not broken.
You're just becoming a more beautiful version of your higher self. We're your co-hosts, Michelle
and Leanna,
here to remind you that
you're never alone
on your healing journey.
Welcome back to All Things Mental. This episode is titled All Things Lessons Learned and More. And it contains the 32 Sweet 16 times 2 amount of our lessons learned in life thus far. Because as you've heard on our previous episodes, we're so excited to be in our 30s and to experience life in this way because we live in this world feeling like life is worth living. And I know sometimes there's a lot of reasons to not think so. And sometimes there's more evidence to the contrary. But when we choose to believe that life is worth living, we get to experience it in a beautiful way because we're here for a reason. We're here for a season. And that's just it. So anything else to add, Michelle?
That was so beautifully said. I loved that. Yeah. I think the only thing I want to add is 30, flirty, and thriving.
Yeah.
That's what we originally wanted to name the episode, and then we decided we should name it something that people will understand. So that's why we went with All Things Lessons Learned and More. So let's dive right in.
Sounds good. Okay. So number 1 is how to speak up for what we want and need. I feel like this is an imperative lesson that I know that I've learned across my journey, just in the fact of like finding my voice. Like my earliest memory of me kind of finding my voice was maybe getting my nails done when I was a kid, and like my mom being like, you need to speak up and tell them what you want. Like if you want a certain cut here, or like a certain design, or like a color, and then they try to sway you in a different direction. Like you got to tell them like, no, this is what I want. And that was actually a really positive lesson that she gave me, because I was always scared to really speak up for myself and advocate for what I want and need, because it's something as simple as getting your nails done, but like it's a metaphor for so much more, because like when you learn how to advocate for the little things and speak up for those little things in life, you're able to then speak up for the big things too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I didn't really learn how to like speak up for myself and say what I wanted and what I needed until I was like further along in life. Like I think that probably started when I moved in with my aunt, and I really do think I began healing prior to leaving my situationship by living with her. And like, it kind of like helped me speak up for what I wanted. Because like, for instance, she bought a house and had it built from the ground up. And I remember her saying that she wanted my input on the house, but I'm like thinking in the back of my head, no, she doesn't, because like she's buying it. It's her house. She gets to pick. But like I was going to be living there with her for the foreseeable future. So she wanted me to have like a say, and she actually took my opinions and allowed me to like speak up for what I wanted. But you came up with a very beautiful point that it is very, very good to teach kids at a young age. Hey, you should stick up for, I don't like that color, or I don't like that flavor of ice cream. I want vanilla, not chocolate, or whatever. Because like if you teach them that the little things are important, they'll know without even you telling them that the big things are just as important. And that's absolutely beautiful.
Yes, I agree so much.
Yeah. Number 2, how to self-validate. So essentially self-validating is just trusting in yourself to like be who you were meant to be. That's what it feels like for me. Like self-validating is just like reassuring your emotions and reassuring what's going on, that everything is going to be all right and everything's going to be okay. Like I'm at a point now in my healing journey where I no longer have I'll have like an anxious voice come in every so often, but I talk to it like, listen here, you don't have control over me anymore. And something really beautiful happened at some point this week, where I heard my husband's voice in my head kind of also like reassuring me. So that was actually kind of beautiful to experience when it happened the other day.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. I mean, validation to me is always when I've reached for approval from others outside of myself. And in doing that, it's just an endless race of reaching and reaching and reaching and trying to get somewhere where you'll never fill your cup. But when you're able to pour into your own cup, then you can disseminate to others. And when you self-validate, then you can validate others as well. Like it's
Absolutely.
that
Like, I
concept.
think that's something that I experienced a lot, like growing up. Like, I wanted to like be a certain way, wear certain outfits just to fit in. But that was beautiful the way you said what self-validation means to you.
Yeah, of course. Cool. So, number 3 is how to unconditionally love ourselves. And we've talked about this on its own episode in the very beginning of our podcast, and we'll continue to talk about it because it's a very important topic, just in the fact that unconditional love to me, and I can speak for Michelle too, because we've talked about this a lot, is that it's love without conditions, right? It's love in spite of all of our shortcomings. It's love in spite of all of our faults and all of our negativities. It's love in spite of it all. It's love in all the good things too, right? Like it's love throughout the phases of life. Like I believe it was that post that I read on one of our episodes. The gist of it was that like an older gentleman who's been with his wife for 60 plus years, what's the secret to long lasting love? And it's loving your partner throughout the changes and seasons of life. And it's falling in love again and again and again. And I just gave that advice to someone that I know is getting married soon. And because they were asking like, oh, any advice? You've been married a long time. I'm like, yeah. But it's also like, it feels like 2 days at the same time, like because we're constantly learning more about each other and more about the world. We're getting more information, and like it's okay to continue to love that person as they grow and change.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's such a beautiful way to put it. Like, being able to love yourself unconditionally, it can take time. I remember not loving myself and being told like you can love yourself and thinking I'm not going to be able to do that. What are you talking about? And now I'm at a point where I do love myself unconditionally, and like I don't really like, I'll have my moments where I'm like, ugh, I don't like the way I look today or this or that. But at the end of the day, I love myself no matter what. And like I grew up in a like time where like I was told that was like not the correct thing to do, and now I know that that's like not true at all, and loving yourself unconditionally is possible. I think for me it was having other people love me unconditionally, and that made me realize, oh, if they can do it, I can do it.
That's so
So
beautifully emotional. Wow.
yeah. Number 4, how to have high self-worth, which I honestly feel that self-worth is just knowing that you are worthy to be here and live this wonderful life that you have. That's what self-worth means to me.
Yeah, that's perfectly said. I mean, it gets me emotional just thinking about that because self-worth has always been this thing that I felt was out of reach, It felt like it was something that I constantly struggle with. And maybe I do to an extent, even still, but I think now I know I have high self-worth because I feel good about myself. I love who I am. Like I recently had to get all like almost a whole new wardrobe in a way, not not all at once, but like pieces of it over time, like my gym shirts and like dresses and things. Like I've just given away like a whole bunch of stuff in the past couple of years because my body has changed. And like it's it's something that like I know that's just one aspect of self-worth, but it's something that's coming up for me right now just as I talk about this because like I recently got like a bra from a friend because she realized that when she bought it, it was they sent her the wrong size and they can't accept returns. They refunded her, but they can't accept the return. So she's like, hey, I have this new bra. Like, it's a different size. And, does anyone want it? And I was like, I'll try it. And it was a size bigger than I've normally worn. And I'm wearing it right now. And I'm like, I feel like this is an actual good fit versus my old ones that I've had
That
since.
felt tight. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like 2017. Like, I'm not, that's almost 10 years ago, like we're allowed to grow and change and shift, and it's okay. It goes back to that unconditional love concept, where like once we realize that we're worthy of life just because we exist, we can do anything.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So number 5 is how to live a life worth living. And that is our theme, our core essential mantra on this podcast, which is to just acknowledge that when we choose life, right? Like in spite of it all, in spite of all the reasons not to. And I realize that for some, like, with depression and anxiety and like PTSD and all the mental health conditions, physical health conditions, like anything like that, it's not always easy to choose life. But when we are given the ability to do so, we are able to choose to live a life worth living, because that was the shift in me, right? With my therapist a couple of years ago, when she gave that phrase to me, that was when I realized, oh my gosh, my whole life I was just reaching for purpose, reaching for so much. And yet I fell short, and it almost didn't matter how much unconditional love there was in my life. It almost didn't matter how much people cared about me. It didn't matter, because I was so hurt and so damaged in my own self that I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do from here? And the truth is that when you create and add things to your life, like bringing in people, bringing in experiences, bringing in joy, gratitude, movement, all the things that we've talked about on this podcast as our essential pillars, these things are what make life worth living.
That was beautifully said. I don't really have anything to add to that, except that like I didn't realize until we discussed making this podcast that I am in fact living a life worth living. Like I say all the time, like I love my life and I'm grateful for like everything. And yeah, that was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Number 6, how to feel enough. And that is something that does in fact take time. I think I started first feeling enough in 2022 when I did a course where one of the things that we were told to do was record. They didn't say record. I decided to record myself, saying that I am enough 100 times. So I did it and I recorded myself doing it. I did like, like the fast speed, like not like slow or anything like that. And I remember crying about halfway through it. Like I didn't bawl. I got like a little teary-eyed, but I think the tears was my body's way of releasing the fact that it is okay and that I am enough.
Aw, I'm so happy that you were able to have that experience and that you agree, that it's not just something that's said with blanket statement, that you actually feel it deep within your being, right?
Yes.
Like that's the enoughness that we're talking about. It's that you don't have to do something and keep striving towards something. You can just be in yourself and be enough just as you are.
Absolutely. And that goes into then being loved unconditionally and people loving you unconditionally.
Yeah, 100%. Number 7, how to embrace our natural features. I love this one because it is so true, in a world that is constantly trying to get us to change our appearance, change who we are, change so many things. I mean, there are ways to enhance our appearance, I guess, like, like wearing makeup, or like I love putting on jewelry every day, or like I've been doing my nails recently, like doing my hair. Like I like to do certain things, but it's because I'm embracing my inner natural self. Like, and
Mm.
it's okay to want to slightly, like, I'm not saying like embracing your natural features, you have to only like walk around in like just a big, like a, you know, black dress or black t-shirt and leggings or something, like, and no makeup, no jewelry, no nothing. Like it's more about like embracing your natural self and not feeling like you need to change who you are in order to do all the points that we said prior, speak up, self-validate, unconditionally love, having self-worth, living a life worth living, feeling enough. Like all of those things like exist because we can embrace who we are on the inside and
Oh
on
yeah,
the outside.
absolutely. Absolutely. Like I think for me, the concept of like embracing our natural features, I agree with you. Like you can still wear makeup and embrace your natural features. You can still wear a cute outfit and embrace your natural features. Like I think for me, something that kind of like changed my perspective on this was I came across an Instagram or a TikTok forever ago, and it was a little girl and her mom. Mom was putting on makeup, and the little girl asked her, "Why are you putting on makeup?" And the mother's response was really beautiful because I feel like looking fancy today. Like she didn't say, "Oh, I'm putting it on so I feel pretty." She said, I did it so I feel fancy today." And I've taken that perspective and I now use it in my life. So if I put on makeup, I'm like, "Oh, I wanted to be fancy today." Like even my husband, at work, he'll like say, "Oh, you wanted to look fancy today, did you?" Like to one of his coworkers that like is wearing makeup or wearing this or wearing that. And then he would explain it to them and be like, "Well, my wife came across this video," and they're embracing that perspective as well. So like you can embrace your natural features while still being girly. Like I've been in and out of my like girly era the last like year, but now I think I'm really diving into it, and like I'm I'm wanting to wear makeup more. I'm wanting to wear like cute outfits. I'm wanting to like try the wavy hair girl routine and all the things. And like that's embracing it because I truly think that I have wavy hair because when it dries, there's waves to it, but once I comb it, it's straight. So I don't really know, but we're gonna give the wavy girl a hair routine, wavy hair routine a try and just see what happens.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a huge thing for me too, like in terms of embracing my natural features. Like, oh my gosh, I just saw this on TikTok the other day. I don't think I sent it to you. I was probably going to talk about it on this episode because it
So
was
long.
it was something it was something like when you fall in love, or the more you fall in love, the curlier your hair gets or something. And like, I don't know if that's real or true or if it has to do with hormones or what, because I was like, oh, but I'm like, there is some real truth to it in a sense of like, you can in just embracing your natural hair, like is something like without having to straighten it or necessarily blow dry it a certain way or like curl it or whatever, like just embracing your natural texture, like I think comes when you fully unconditionally love yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that so much. Number 8, how to accept our flaws, which I think goes perfectly with the one that we just talked about because I feel like they kind of go hand in hand. And accepting your flaws, I think, comes when you can embrace your natural features, but also like just accept that you are enough. It kind of like touches on several of the ones that we just mentioned, but also like just loving yourself unconditionally and knowing that you're human and everybody has flaws. You are not alone in that area. Um, and yeah, like I had this shirt in middle school or high school that said, um, "I am flawless" or something like that. And like I wore it and I believed it because, like middle school, like early high school, like, you have that like, confidence sometimes. But I know I have flaws and I'll be the first to admit it. And I think that that's a beautiful part of the journey of life and being human.
Yes. 100%. Because like we've said, you know, accepting our own flaws and things that we're not as good at allows us to leave room and create room for what we are good at, right? Like acknowledging that like we can use certain tools in our day to day, like that it's okay to embrace those tools because they help make other things easier. Like we've talked about this before, where like I don't really do much cooking these days in my life because I choose to put more energy into other things and like more creative ventures and my hobbies and like my work and like my life and my husband and my cats, like, and that this podcast, like that's just how I choose to spend my time.
Yeah.
And is it a flaw that I'm not cooking? Probably, because like maybe I'd be saving money, maybe I'd be more healthy, who knows? But either way, like it's something that I accept about myself and it's okay.
Yeah, like for me, like I mentioned this before, I like cooking, but I also live with two people that are really good chefs. So I'm spoiled in that sense. So yeah, like I
Very
eat
good.
as best I can. Like earlier today, me and my new roommate were talking about how like we don't really want to like be on diets. We've tried this, we've tried that. We just want to like balance our food and try to like embrace all things and just, you know, enjoy life, eat the food, eat the cake.
Exactly, exactly. I think that flows right into our next point, how to improve day by day, number 9. I think that is something like, I don't know, there's many concepts where people are saying like how to get 1% better each day. And like some of
Ugh.
that can be rooted in
It's
toxic
gonna be
positivity culture. Yeah.
toxic positivity. Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's like not what we're saying. We're saying
We're
more
not.
like we're saying it in
Just
the
to
instance.
clarify.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We're saying it in the instance of like yesterday was a certain way and I'm going to choose to act differently this day. And
Yeah.
it's not going to be a linear process, right? Because healing isn't linear, life isn't linear. But like when we realize that we can improve little by little each day as we go forward, we can see, looking back, connect the dots, and we're like, "Oh, that makes sense now. Like I'm a different person than I used to be."
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because like you're not the same person you were like a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. So that's a really beautiful way to, you know, day by day. But also like, I mean, there's like you have to just remember that at the end of the day, you're human, you have flaws. And if life is lifing and you can't, you know, do your typical day to day or improve or whatever, there's always tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Number 10, how to practice self care. And I honestly think that self care goes into not just like, you know, the facials, the massages, and all of those things. I think it also is like accepting that you're feeling a certain emotion and not ignoring it because that can make matters worse and just processing it the way you need to process it. But also too, we also do need basic self-care. Like the other night I did a collagen mask and I think it was the first time I ever did it with my husband around, and at one point he says to me, "Babe, why is your mask disappearing?" And I had to explain to him what a collagen mask is, and he was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, yes.
Aw, that's so fun. Yeah, I mean, in terms of self-care, like just acknowledging that we are a living, breathing human being. We're an
Yeah.
animal, we're a creature. We need water, sunlight, life in our days. And it's just part of it, you know, like we need to do all these things so that we continue to live life, you know, like food is not just fuel as the toxic positivity culture says. It's more about the
It's a culture, it's an experience.
yeah,
It
it's
can
an
be
exactly, exactly. That's completely right. And yeah, I mean, when we care
absolutely.
for ourselves, we're able to do the things we love more.
Exactly. Because like you mentioned that we're all like, we're technically like a mammal or whatever it was that you said.
Mhm.
And I think I mentioned this before, like we're mammals. We do not go based off of society's timeline when it comes to certain things. Like, for
Mm,
instance, we talked about this on our all things, not routine, all things reset episode, where
mhm.
like just because like the new year starts in January, it's still winter and we're still technically in hibernation and don't really like the world doesn't really come back to life until the spring.
Right, right. And I think that goes right into our next point, number 11, how to have routines. Um, because we can acknowledge the seasons of life, the seasons of the literal weather and air quality outside, like all that stuff,
All the things.
Yeah, because we can have different routines based on different areas of our world, and that's perfectly okay, as we have healthy routines to take care of ourselves, to practice joy, practice gratitude, practice movement, like all those amazing things, we can continue to have a beautiful experience.
Absolutely. And that ironically rolls into our next one, number 12, how to be spiritual. And I'm not saying that if you're religious, you have to be spiritual. I'm just, spirituality to me is whatever it is for you. If that's going to church and honoring God, so be it. If that's going for a walk in nature, not wearing shoes and like grounding yourself with the earth, if that works for you, awesome. But like I talked about this before, spirituality for me was something that found me, not the other way around. Because at the
Mm,
time when I was on my healing journey, I didn't really, not that I didn't believe in anything, I just was like not hopeful for anything. And then I kind of just found spirituality and I'm happy with it.
very good. Yeah, I totally agree. Like I've mentioned before, I record in my dining room and I see all around me all these beautiful like little trinkets and things and crystals and the amazing life that's lived before me, things from my grandma and stuff and from my aunt and my other grandma and it's just so nice. And I feel like that all wraps into spirituality in its own way for me personally
Absolutely.
because like because I care about these things, um, and it helps me like acknowledge that like certain things speak to me in different ways that I can't understand, like logically. So like the answer is then it's spiritual.
Exactly, because like spirituality can be anything. Like I have spirit guides, I have
Mhm.
like rituals that I do. Like I mean, as we record this, like the full moon is like tomorrow.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, that's why I was emotional earlier. That makes sense because that tends to happen. But like, I
Yeah.
mean, just like honoring whatever you believe in. And sometimes you have to go on a journey, like, and find what is spirituality mean to you. And again, if that's religion, then that's your path.
Right. Right. Number 13, how to believe in ourselves. This one hits home in a big, big way because I think in terms of like the self-validation piece of what we've shared already, believing in ourselves is like acknowledging that like we can do it, like we can do what we set our minds out to. We can set our hearts into a good place and we can just go for it, and even if nobody else agrees, I mean, there has to be within reason, right? Like, it's always within reason. But like if it's not hurting anybody, if it's not doing anything, then like believe in yourself, you can do anything.
Absolutely. I think that's something that everybody should hear. And I love that you said it that way. Because like believing in yourself it can take time. But if you were raised to always believe in yourself, then good for you because Like there's some people that don't have that experience. Like we all come into this world and have different experiences, and sometimes you have to heal this or you have to heal that. But at the end of the day, believing in yourself is a huge, huge help.
Yes.
Number 14, how to trust ourselves. For me, I think trusting myself came after I left my situationship, but I'm also working right now on regaining my trust when it comes to like little things. So like for instance, I'm going to get out of bed. I'll get out of bed. I'm going to I'll like talk in my brain of what I'm going to do next, and then I'll actually do it. And that's been like helping me because I still struggle in this area. I'm not going to lie, but like, as we said before, healing is not linear. And like some of these you might need to relearn a few times, and that's okay.
Yeah. I think having self-trust is a practice in and of itself, because even if you make a mistake, even if you quote unquote do the wrong thing, you can trust that the next time will be better, and that this new situation that you're in or whatever it is, like, will be better. Like I can think of a friend who's had a tough time with some work and things like that, and jobs and career, and and they kind of have been sharing with me that like they want to acknowledge that their new venture that they're in and that they're a part of is something that's going to continue to be a positive. And I shared something that I remember in therapy years ago, which was like, well, you have to trust that in this new environment, in this new situation, like once you have more evidence to support the contrary of what used to be, you'll feel better. And I shared that with this person, and they were so grateful because I think it changed their perspective for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There've been plenty of times in my life where like someone has shared like a simple sentence with me, and it's changed my perspective on so many things.
Yeah, 100%. We talked about trust. So let's see. Number 15, how to follow our own inner guidance. This, I believe, goes very closely with spirituality in a way, because like in its own right of following our inner guidance, it's that intuition, it's that inner voice, it's that right from wrong in and of ourselves. Like we trust in our inner guidance because we know that going forward we can do better than the past, we can learn from our mistakes, we can become better, and like, or we can just relentlessly choose ourselves in the moment. Like it goes so many different directions. Like it relates to self-validation too, and it's what in its own right, because like I think of a very, very basic example of like needing to just believe that we can make something so simple, like a decision of what to wear to a wedding as a guest, or like, and we don't need like 8 million other opinions of our girls being like, oh yeah, this looks good, like, we don't need that. Because like, when you ask for help from somebody and they either tell you what you were already thinking, or they
Yes.
just or they say the opposite, and but then you have that coin flip on the inside, you're like, wait, no, that wasn't what I was thinking. So it's like, if then why do you need to ask somebody? And I don't mean that in a derogatory or negative way. I mean that in like a, hey, maybe you should look at yourself and be like, if I want to wear this today and I want to look good a certain way because this is what feels right to me, I don't need to overthink it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For me, inner guidance means listening to my gut, because that's just what it is for me. And I've talked about human design before on this on our episodes, but like it's one of my takeaways from my human design is my inner gut. And we're gonna have a whole episode on human design coming up in a couple of weeks. So just stay tuned, y'all. Number 16, how to have fun, which I think is something that we know how to do when we're children, and then we grow up and responsibilities are thrown our way and we like kind of like forget about it. You like I think when I was a kid, I was told, well, having fun is just for kids, enjoy it while it lasts. I'm an adult, okay? I still to this day have fun. I think it was
Mhm.
yesterday or 2 days ago, I painted and I did Legos all in one day. And it was just
Yay.
really nice because like my I'm technically sitting in my like creative corner right now as I record. Literally moved from one chair to another, still in the room where I record. But like you can have fun even if you're an adult. Like I think I mentioned this on I don't even know what episode, but it was like your friends are supposed to bring out your inner child and make you have fun. And fun goes from doing your hobbies to watching a movie to laughing with friends or whatever it is that you define as having fun.
Mm, yes. I love having fun because I think as I've grown up, like I used to have fun so much differently as a kid, but then I've reclaimed that fun in my life now because I now have hobbies like playing mahjong, playing pickleball, playing Fortnite. Like those are my three things that I enjoy to do each week, and I try to make space for them each
Yeah.
week. Like recently, like I've hurt my left knee and like I haven't been able to play pickleball. So I'm like, I'm trying to wait for it to heal a little bit longer for me to like be able to tape it and play and not have like a
Yeah.
bad time.
And not have it like get worse. So you're listening to your body. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. But like I think in terms of overall having fun in general, like having this joy, it just feels so good. It feels right. It feels like something that we get to do and we can choose to do it, like it's not like something that we have like anything that we have to dread. Like I oh man, I don't mean to sound like a certain way for those who love music. And I've grown up singing. I love music. I had a scholarship in college, like to sing, like I was in choirs and stuff. But like as I've tried to find groups in post grad, like I have just had a tough time like actually embracing the music and the singing because they were so classical focused and like
Mhm.
I just wasn't able to like have fun with it anymore. So like for me, like stopping doing that at this point in my life and maybe revisiting it in the future, it's okay, Um and it is what it is, but like it wasn't something that was fun for me anymore. So I felt like it was a chore and I was like, you know what? I can just pause about this right now. Like I don't have to force myself to do something just because it's something I've always done, quote unquote, and like that I've always been good at or whatever, like which is a blessing in and of itself. But like, you know, I can choose to focus on other things at this stage in my life and it's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely okay. Like, I mean, I was a theater kid as well, and I would love to get back into performing and all that. But like for me, it's that I haven't like looked because I think part of me, like one of my inner children, is just like kind of scared to do it. But
Mm,
I want to someday take the leap and at least audition and just see what happens.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Number 17, how to embrace change. This is a big one because when things, well, as the phrase goes, the only thing constant is change. And I
Yeah.
think that's so true because, like, it's raining today out my window. And, like, last week we had a huge storm and it was, like, so hard to drive home through. And, like, the visibility was so poor. And, like, 1 second you don't know what the weather's going to be and then the next second it's it's like stormy, rainy, terrible. Oh my god. And
I'm
like
laughing because that sounds like Florida.
I guess it's that season, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. And like we can't always control certain things. And like as things change, as we change, as our partner changes, as technology changes, like we have to just learn and adapt and like make the best of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that leads us into number 18, which is how to accept help. And that was
Mm.
like kind of like huge for me to like ask for help. Um, Because like I grew up like thinking I can do it by myself. I don't need help because I was trying to like show people in my life, hey, I can do this. I know it. So like that is why it took me a while to accept help. And now I'm at the point where I like will like even ask for help. It just takes time if you grew up in a household where you were like told like, hey, you need to be this way or that way, or like, you know, in a society that we live in now.
Yeah, it's especially hard as women, I feel like
Yes.
to I literally have a little plaque on my desk at home that says it's okay to ask for help because
Oh,
because I literally had to remind myself on a daily basis that like I have a team behind me and I'm okay to it's not that I'm not doing something right. It's not that I'm wrong. It's not that I'm shortcoming, like whatever, like it or have a fault. Like it's that I'm not meant to do everything by myself
yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm the same way. Like also like I can sometimes like you sometimes like if you're like in charge, you have to like delegate work off to other
Mhm.
people. And like that took me a while to like accept and do, but now I'm at a point where like I have a good team both in my personal and my professional life. So I we divide and conquer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that is a perfect segue into number 19, which is how to release the need to control. And this one is huge because when we accept help, we also relinquish that we're not able to do it ourselves or maybe not able, but like that we choose not to, and then we relinquish control to that extent, like trusting in our partner, in our spouse, in our whatever, like that we can delegate chores and like things like that. And like if they take out the garbage and don't put the garbage bag around the container in a certain way, like if something like that doesn't happen, like we have to then be like, it's okay, like at least you did the task at hand, like, and learning that in these 32 reasons or life lessons, I should say, like it's a big one because like as a recovering perfectionist for the rest of time, I know that I am somebody who needs to just be like, it's okay. And I think with like my medication journey and things like that, like I've been able to have less anxiety in needing everything to be perfect and needing everything to be in my controlled environment. Like if I'm able to be like happy in my own self and like happy with others, like I can let go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like for me, releasing control took a while and I still have my moments, but overall I've gotten much better. I think that's something that I came to the conclusion or realization of during my summer break. So,
Very
yeah.
good.
Number 20, how to embrace our inner child, which is something that I absolutely love to do. I think like our hobbies in a sense kind of like shine with our inner child, at least for me, like Legos, for me, like that's definitely something that every time I do it, my inner child gets so excited. But like there's stuff that goes deeper than just like doing what brings your inner child joy. It's like the work and the healing that goes into it. Like when you feel a certain emotion, like embrace that, talk to it, journal about it, whatever it is that you need to do.
Mhm.
Because sometimes if you're feeling a certain way about a situation in your adult life and you're like, okay, why am I feeling this way? It's probably because of something that happened to you when you were a child. And it's more so your inner self than yourself, even though you are the same person. So,
Right. Right. Because we are made up of so many different parts and we can accept them as they are, as they come up, as we learn more parts of us from our inner child. I am currently listening to this audiobook by the holistic psychologist, and it's entitled Reparenting the Inner Child. And it's it's really revolutionary just in like the exercises that it suggests. Like I almost wish it was a workbook because then I would actually be like more inclined to be like, oh yeah, I can do these things. But then I realized like in my healing journey, I've actually done a lot of these already. So I'm like kind of just listening to it as like something to listen to on my drive or whatever. Like it's fine. And I'm learning so much because like embracing our inner child is just acknowledging that like we are forever these little humans, and even though we're in an adult body, like and that our bodies change and everything, like we can still move forward and have fun and like and heal the parts of us and give love to the parts that didn't get them when we were younger. Like we can choose to feel that.
That was so beautifully said, Leanna.
Aw, thanks. Number 21, how to laugh at ourselves. I love this because I find that I laugh a lot. Maybe it's a defense mechanism. I don't know. I'm gonna have to like look into that. As I laugh right now.
Okay, Chandler Bing.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, it's sweet because when we realize that life isn't all that serious, we can just be okay. Like, wow, this is gonna be a hot take, or maybe not. But I watched this video on TikTok about a girl talking about Fortnite, where she's like, those who like, how he treats you in Fortnite is how he treats you in real life. And I was like, oh damn, like and it made me think about like my husband and how like he taught me how to play, and like how when we play as duos or something, like he's always like, hey, do you need something, do you need more ammo, do you need more whatever, and do you have enough whatever, or like, oh, I'm down, like you go get that person, or like, or let's go over here, like he's just so like on my team, and like
I love that.
like I don't think everyone can say that about their significant other, like I really don't think so, and it's sad that that's the reality, but like that's why I was like, I don't know, maybe it's not a hot take, like maybe it's real that like how
No,
they
I mean,
treat
like
the
at first
games.
I was like, you saw the face, you started laughing. But like now that I think about it, like even when I'm playing video games with my husband, like he's very like patient with me, and he's admitted that I've gotten better over the years, but like I used to not be great at video games, and I've gotten better, and he's like helped me and like has cheered me on. Like I'll be like playing something, I'm like, babe, did you see that? He goes, yeah, I'm so proud of you. And like we don't have like a lot of games that we can like play together, but like we'll game together where like he games on one TV and I game on the other TV.
That's cool. How do you deal with the sound? Like,
so the bottom TV, usually we don't have the sound on because most of the games on the Switch, you don't really need sound. And the top TV, like we just happen to have the sound on because that's where we also like stream all the things. So like it's just kind of like works out. Like, cause for me on the Switch, I usually play like Mario Kart, Mario Party, or Disney Dreamlight Valley. You don't really need the sound on for those games, because like Disney Dreamlight Valley is a lot of reading. Well, not a lot of reading, but like when you're having a conversation with a character, it gives you like 3 options, and then you have to like pick which one. And like some like literally the other night I was like, babe, which one should I pick, because these are both super sassy and I don't know which one to pick, and I can't pick both. So like that's sort of thing. But yeah, no, it works for us. So
good.
That's a really interesting, maybe it is a hot take, who knows. All right. That leads into number 22. How to accept, not really, but we're going to number 22. How to accept that we have changed and be okay with some people staying the same. And so like what I mean by that is like essentially like if you've changed and there's people in your life that haven't changed and you still want them in your life because they're family or they're this or they're that, my piece of advice to you is advice that was given to me by my best friend and my aunt. Just accept that they haven't, and you'll be so less stressed. And it has definitely like helped me with people in my life.
Yes, it's huge. It's a huge act of self-love, act of resistance, like whatever, like to just be like, yep, I've changed, but you've stayed the same, and
That's okay.
that's okay, because like we'll come to terms with each other on certain things, but like we won't on others, and it's perfectly okay. And like there's boundaries for that reason. There's
Exactly.
boundaries in place to protect our current self, our new self that we have worked so hard to heal and transform and love, that we protect those boundaries and
But not
everything.
only that, like you're also in a sense not just protecting your newer self, like the person that you are sitting before, listening, whatever. But also like you're protecting your inner child from like things that you've probably felt like you couldn't protect them from when you were like not healed.
That's so real. That is so true. I love that so much. Yeah. Number 23. How to embrace joy. We've talked about this a lot on this episode and in the past episodes, and we'll continue to talk about it because I think when we have love in our life, we can fully let joy be present and wash over us. You know, like it's the pleasure thing, right? Like in so many ways, like having pleasure and succumbing to the endorphins or the hormones or the whatever like that come over us in that moment of like fully being present and experiencing joy. Like it's so powerful because like so many people don't make time for joy, they don't make time for hobbies or having fun or whatever, like they don't feel like it's worth it. And I think that's a really sad life, you know, when we don't have something to look forward to. Like I had this countdown on my phone, and I always, even when I reach the date, I switch the next countdown because I'm like, there's something else coming, like always. And it's always in my calendar, you know, like I just have to click the new date and add a new picture and like make that my new countdown because there's always something to look forward to.
Oh, I love that so much. Yeah, no, like for me, I've talked about joy before. You've talked about joy before, but for me, joy is something that you get to not only embrace but experience. And I think that that's something that like you can do on the daily. Like you don't have to, like, yes, if you're like not sure, like I've been feeling like really off today, do something that brings you joy. It'll turn your day around or at least make you feel better. And like that's what joy is for me. Just not only just like embracing it and experiencing it, but just like, you know, accepting this life we have worth living for. So, yeah.
Yes.
All right, number 24, how to be grateful for what we have. And I think that that's something that can evolve over time. My grateful journey has definitely evolved. I'm at the point now where I do my journal every day where like there's like it just asks you questions. And then when I feel inspired for like, okay, what am I grateful for? I send a voice note and it's just really special. And that's how I experience gratitude. And in the book, it always like mentions like how important gratitude is, because if you like always are focusing on the negative things will find you. But if you always focus on the good things that are going on in your life and be grateful for them, more things will come your way.
Yeah, that's so true. It comes back to this concept of from the book The Secret that I remember learning about many, many years ago, which is this law of attraction of like what you put out there vibrates and then that vibrates back to you. We've talked about it before, and I think it's really powerful and amazing because like when we are grateful for what we have, we bring that energy with us around because we can then look for more reasons to be grateful.
Yeah.
Versus like having things that maybe not feel so abundant, and then we find more things to be sad about, and like it just the sadness builds upon the sadness. And like I think the same thing can happen for gratitude. So when we choose gratitude, when we choose to be grateful, it's a powerful thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I think gratitude is a huge help to just feel better and just realize, oh, I do have something to be grateful for. You're alive. You're breathing. You can drink water.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Number 25, how to not care about numbers. This one is what comes to mind for me right away when I think about this is like the number on the scale, like, or the number of our dress size or pant size or whatever, shirt size, like that all doesn't matter, like I literally had a conversation today with a friend where I was like, because I talked about this new bra that I got and whatever, and how I'm a different size now. And I'm like, I don't even understand bra sizing. Like, I don't get it, like it doesn't really make sense. And it was they were like, well, it's the band size, and then it's the cup size, it's like the dimensions of like around your rib cage, and then it's how much it protrudes, like the whatever. And I'm like, okay, then that's fine, like I get it, but like it doesn't, like that doesn't mean anything in terms of my worth,
Mhm.
like just because I'm a different size and a number, it doesn't mean that like I'm any different than who I was yesterday, because I was still wearing the other bras. It's just they weren't as comfortable. So now I get to be more
Oh yes,
comfortable.
absolutely. Like for me, like I've let go of like all numbers at this point, but I know a time in my life where like the only number, it got to the point where the only number I cared about was the number on the scale. And now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, like am I thrilled with it? No, but like I'm not letting it define me and make me question my worth.
Right. Right. That's so real. That's so
Yeah.
good.
All right, number 26. How to accept we are not always right, and that's okay. And that takes a lot for someone who was like, again, I think I can speak for me and Leanne on this. Like, we're healing perfectionists, and it's kind of hard to like, not be like, but it does take time. And like, I mean, I think I have gotten better through the journey of life and just living this life worth living to know it's okay. It kind of like goes into what we talked about earlier about accepting help. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. Like I often find myself talking with my husband about certain things, and he's like, but I said this to you a while ago and you didn't like hear me. And I'm like, well, the truth is that like I had to find it in my own self,
Yeah.
and then it's okay, because like it didn't mean that I didn't want to listen to you. It's more just that like I wasn't there yet, and
Yes.
like I had to get there eventually. And that's just, I don't have a specific example of when that was the case, but like we've talked about it before, where it's like there's this difference of right and wrong, but like if we're not, if we didn't make the right choice, then we have to live with it. Like I know somebody who's like, working on their house, and like they're like, oh, how I would have done something differently. And I'm just like, you have to live with your choices, because something like a house renovation, or like buying a big piece of furniture that you then replace everything in it and like move it out of your house, like you're not getting that old thing back, like it's just not going to happen, like that kind of stuff, like that's such a simple like right versus wrong, but I think people are always trying to get it right, but when we realize that we're not always right, it's okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like you like earlier when you like were talking about like your husband saying, "Well, I told you that." And then like you were like, "Well, I didn't hear you." It's not that I didn't hear you, but I didn't hear you. I was laughing because I've had similar conversations with my husband.
Yes. Yes. That perfectly explains where we're at. And the next point with number 27 of how to give ourselves grace, because in giving ourselves grace, we're able to really acknowledge that we're not always going to be right. We're not always going to be perfect. We're going to not always have the routine that we expected to have, or the habits that we're building. Like, we're not always going to have that. But the reality is that like in giving ourselves grace, we're able to love ourselves unconditionally, because it's okay to accept that it didn't go as planned. Like, especially like if a trip or like an experience didn't go as planned, or whatever, like a presentation, like anything that we've had to have to do in this life, like if it's not perfect or 100% like where we wanted it to be, like it's okay. So
Absolutely. Like, I think grace is something that you have to, not necessarily have to do, but like you need to give yourself grace like daily. Like, I'll give you an example for me. I planned on working out on Monday, and I wanted to work out around the time I would when I get home from work, because I go back to work soon. And like I told my husband, like, hey, I want to work out. Can I have the TV around 4:30 or 5? And he said, yeah, sure. And then I made the mistake of sitting down and playing video games. And I guess he just figured, okay, well, she doesn't want to do it anymore. And I mentioned it later on in the evening. He goes, you just never asked me to work out again. So I just assumed. So I learned like a lesson there, but I gave myself grace, and like I kind of like laughed about it. Like, I have this group chat with these 3 other girls that were in the workout program that I was in, and I like told them all, and they all thought it was funny. I'm like, yeah, you did learn a lesson. I'm like, yeah, I learned that like on Mondays and Tuesdays, because those are his days off, I will have to probably work out just with the computer or in our bedroom, because if he's on the TV, I'm not going to tell him, hey, I need it. Like, he's using it, so I can figure it out and, learn how to like adjust day by day.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think that kind of leads us into number 28, which is how to set boundaries, which you can do in a not so great, like a toxic manner, but you can also do it in a positive manner. But I think like boundaries come with just like living life and having those experiences and realizing, I don't want this to happen to me again. So I'm going to set this boundary and I'm going to be firm with it, because
I love what you said about, I don't want this to happen again. Like, that is the boundary. Like, I remember having this inner moment with myself when I was around my parents, like a few months ago, and I looked at them in the mirror, looked my eyes in the mirror, and I locked in, and I was like, I don't ever want to feel like I'm not enough anymore. And I have yet to set a boundary on a particular thing that like occurred during that time we were together. And I still want to do that. I just have to come to the right terms with it. And I think there's a way to do it. And it'll be healthy for all of us, like just going forward and everything, So that's the thing, is that the boundary is meant to protect the relationship. It's primarily for one person, but by the other person accepting the boundary and respecting the boundary, they then can have a better relationship with each other, So it's
absolutely. But I also think when it comes to boundaries as well, that each boundary is a new lesson between you and the person you're setting the boundary with, or whether that's yourself or whoever.
Yes, I love that so much. Wow, that's so powerful. Number 29, how to feel free. This is so freeing just to even think about.
Unintended.
Yes. Well, because like being free in ourselves allows us to be relentlessly authentic. Because when we're relentlessly authentic, we're able to love ourselves, express ourselves beautifully, like really encompass all of the points that we've been saying thus far. Because like self-preservation, self-freedom, like all of that stuff is important when we're on our healing path and on our journey, because as we move forward and look at our future, we can then say like, I want to just do what I want to do, and in within reason, not hurting anybody, not doing anything crazy. Like I'm saying, like we can just be who we want to be and who we've always dreamed of being, because we feel this freedom on the inside. And it's kind of abstract, but like I think when you feel it, and when you know, you know.
Oh my God, that was so beautiful. I think the only thing that I want to add, because I'm a Disney nerd, is like for me, like in Aladdin, when he lets the genie go free, like I think that that's like the freedom that everybody should feel. Like, not that like we're all like slaves and have to like grant 3 wishes, but like I mean, like it's a beautiful metaphor.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah. All right. 30. How to move your body because it's not only helpful but good for the soul. I feel like that speaks for itself. So just like find a way to like move your body in a way that feels good for you, whether it's walking, whether it's dancing or stretching or whatever. Like the last couple of days, I've been doing like a lot of stretching because I have really tight hips, and I have a stretch routine that I do with the girl I work out with on YouTube. That is just it. Every time after I'm done with it, I feel a million times better. Even if my hips aren't tight, I still do it and I still feel better. So I know it works.
Yes, 100%. And I love that we share our goal in the Finch app, which is moving our body in a way that feels good today. Like
Yeah.
that is something that I look forward to checking off every day, because I'm like, you know what? If I didn't like quote unquote walk like an intentional, like I'm going to go
Yeah.
for a 20-minute walk. Like, no, like if, because my Aura ring will track when I've moved a certain amount of time throughout the day, like whether it's through housework, whether it's through just like going down to get lunch or taking out the garbage or doing laundry, like whatever I'm doing at home or at work or whatever, like I acknowledge that like that's enough for the day. Like, and it's okay to have it look different each day. And that's why it's in a way that feels good, because it's not forcing yourself to go to the gym. It's moving your body in a way that feels good in that part of your cycle, in that day. Like all
Absolutely.
of that is important.
Like you mentioned the Finch app, and like when you were down here, I remember you had marked it off, and it informs you when you're sharing a goal with somebody that they marked it off. And I like had this moment of like, you know, Eliana, you're right. I moved my body today. I was walking around Disney and having a good time, and I literally went and marked it myself too. So it can be something as simple as that.
Yeah, it's a total mindset shift, right? Because
Absolutely.
like it goes from, you know, the quote unquote recommended like 10,000 steps a day to like, okay, what does that actually look like in reality for me? And like, I know
Mhm.
for me, like 5,000 steps is a goal. Like, and it's a goal that I often get very close to meeting. So I'm like, you know what, if it's a goal because I'm consistent, like, and
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
For me, on days when I'm off, so like this summer break, I made a decision. Originally, I was going to do all my steps. But then I was like, you know what? That's too much pressure. Get to at least 5,000. Have that be your goal this summer. But I left my actual goal at 10,000 because I know when I went back to work that would be what I do and then some. So, I mean, like, it just depends on the day. Were there days where I sometimes met the 10,000 steps? Absolutely. But you had mentioned also about how, like, you get steps in while you're walking around the house. I remember when I first like started like caring about my steps, I used to like think the steps at work don't count. The steps inside the house don't count. Yeah, you can give me the look that you're giving me right now, Leanna. It's fine because it's true. That was my thought process. But then like my coach was like, Michelle, that's stupid. I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong. Because a step's a step. I'm like, okay. And I moved on with my life.
Good. I know. And I gave you that look with love because like I was like,
know.
girl, like you gotta like give yourself some grace there,
Yeah.
because like truly as you move in your life, like it's okay to have it look a certain way, like on one day and have it look different the next day. Like I know you know, my steps for the month of July are gonna be like astronomical compared to probably the rest of the year, but like that's okay because that's
Well, yeah, that's because you went to no, was it? It was no, it wasn't July. It was June for Disney. Never mind.
Oh yeah, end of well, yeah, I think the last 30 days, let's say. You know, like moving in Disney, and then I went to Nashville, and then like did a lot of different things, and like was just walking a lot, and like I was, and that's probably why I hurt my knee, because I was like, okay, yeah, they diagnosed me, you know, and they were like, it is patellofemoral syndrome, and like it's just overuse of the knee, and I'm like, ugh. That sucks.
They come
But
up
it is
with names for like everything these days.
I know. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Number 31, how being abundant and rich goes beyond money. And we love that so much, because living an abundant life is feeling like you have enough, that you are enough, and that
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to be making so much more, or like have so much more in the bank account or whatever, to like have a rich abundant life. Like you can move on and it's okay. Like I I'm making a similar salary that I was a couple years ago, and like I was making more at a certain time and now I'm making a little bit less. And but like all in all, I'm like does the dollar go as far as it did like 5 years ago? Like probably not. So like that's the tough part. But then I'm like, I feel so much more abundant today than I did back then, because I look at it and I'm like, wow, like 2022, like there was this photo that I made of myself, like a photo collage at one point where I was looking at it and I was like, wow, like I remember in that moment feeling, that day in particular, feeling so suicidal and so like not okay, that I was like, I looked at the, like they were showing me the camera photos and they were like, the photographer, was like, oh, look at how beautiful you are. And I'm like, oh my God, my arms, my this, my that. Like, I feel like awful. Like was
that on the retreat with Mary?
No, it was the year
No?
after that.
Okay.
It was the year after that. It was because I was still like going through it. Like I was still like having a tough time. Like that retreat like taught me so much. But then like after the retreat, like I did a program with a different coach, and like part of her program was to also do a photo shoot. And like I looked so happy and lively in those photos. But like the truth is, in the deep inside part of me, I know how I felt that day. And it doesn't look like that in the photos. And I'm like, that's where I'm like, quote unquote, maybe I was thinner, maybe I was this way, like whatever, but I wasn't happy. And it didn't matter that I was making more money at the time or whatever. Like it doesn't matter, or actually, yeah, it's about the same, but like, whatever. It doesn't matter that I had more to spend, more, whatever. Like it doesn't matter, because like I wasn't happy. And so
that's a really beautiful perspective.
Yeah.
Like that's beautiful, because like I agree with you completely. Like I've mentioned this before, that like I took a pay cut when I switched like from one area to another area, and I thought it wasn't a pay cut, but like at the same time my life is so much more abundant now, and like money will find you.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited about this last one because I had this realization like about 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, I don't know. 32, how it is okay to continue to heal and still live a life worth living, meaning doing hobbies, experiencing joy, and continuing to heal what you need to be, what you need to heal. You can have it all. And I had that realization like about a week ago. I'm not really sure, but it was just beautiful and needed. And now I feel like I'm at a point where like I can have both and I have balance in my life.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, because I know part of your story, like, not to speak for you, but like what you've shared in the past, and just like how it used to be like, well, I have to like do all these things, and then I, and then I feel like I'm working on myself. Like it's I'm so proud of you that like you're able to really see that like you can be doing the work and yet still experiencing joy and love in your life. Like it's
like
so
early
important.
on. Thank you. Because like early on in my healing journey, I was like, I can only focus on this, and like it became like essentially like my whole personality. Like like when you're like you have an ADHD obsession, like fixation. That was my fixation for like a couple years, and that's all that like I like not cared about, but like was concerned about. So
yeah, no, I totally feel that, and I absolutely agree, because like in these 32 lessons learned, like, and more like that we've shared, it's really just so powerful to see how far we've come, and that we get to experience this life and feel proud to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I love that so much. And I really hope this episode and these lessons learned helped our listeners.
Yes, I agree. I know this is one of our longer episodes, if not the longest so far. And I think it's a powerful one, because it's one that we'll look back on and have like a really special relationship with, because then we can build upon it and like share more things that we've learned in this life, because it's just so special and amazing to do that. So thanks you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Right. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to this episode of All Things Mental.
Please follow us on social media at AllThingsMentalPodcast to let us know how this episode helped you on your healing journey.
Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so that you don't miss an episode.
And remember,
you are not broken.
You're just becoming a more beautiful version
of your higher self.